Kokui, yes. this matter of I don't know if you say like legacy projects. I'm not sure how you would describe it. You know, like the Akosombo Dam, the setting up of the dam. If you're going to do a major project and you're going to, let's say, having to move people and compensate people, you know, as a result of that, how many years do you owe them? You know, is there a situation where you say, listen, we do a one-time payment, we compensate you, we are done, right? And you are like every other Ghanaian after that. Or what's the compensation? Is it for life? Is it for generations? You know, forever? How many generations are we going? Well, we have an interesting story that's coming from Somanya. We're looking at a situation where some people are aggrieved because the ECG has decided that they want to install prepaid meters, like they're doing across the country. But the people of residents of Somanya say, no, we don't want that, because now we're going to have to pay electricity. But we shouldn't have to pay. Let's take a look at this report that's coming from our Eastern Region correspondent.
The demonstration, which was organized by the United Crop Foundation, saw the residents, both young and old, clad in red and black apparel, with placards with inscriptions such as, ECG, we won't work with you. VRA, give us direct power, among others. They marched from Akutunya Lorry Station through Odumasi to Pong. The residents of the area have had a long-standing dispute with the power distribution company over wrong calculations of bills and overbilling. 2 years ago, there was a similar protest, and that resulted in the death of a young man. They contend that the installation of prepaid meters will further aggravate the impasse between the people and ECG, since the issues of overbilling issues are yet to be addressed. Some of the demonstrators spoke to City News.
VRA took our lands, the water destroyed all our lands. And they didn't sell the power to Red Direct. They sold to Glico before Glico will sell it for us. They sell to Glico, and Glico will sell it to electricity before electricity sell it for us. And I think the chain between is too much. We want electricity, we want VRA to sell the light direct to us. We don't want any middleman. Meanwhile, the dam, there is no compensation. There is nothing on it. It's for our land. Me, for instance, we have about 500 acres of land which is immersed in the water, which of course we are not going to agree. And both electricity and Glico, they are not going to get it easy. Trust me, we are going to get electricity direct from VRA, or we don't want ECG on our land. That's what we intend doing.
So since I know everything becomes unstable, so we can't pay. We cannot pay the light bill again. I don't know. They don't explain anything to us, but they don't bring us any bill. But they are source of for some time. Before we realize, they bring A4 sheet bill. So it's like something that we can't pay again. We can't pay.
Na ye krom na ikane no na ye papa no na omu ko school papa eto omu nim se na niam asi tie ena de ya nkola na ya siso ya ko school ya nim nwuma ya nim ABCD eti ya fifi niam mo na ye hu se na electricity for omu kuye omu di abro enu ti na ye si ya sore ya ji ya nsio ya light. Yeti hwa, ya di sika badwa nanka. Ya nya bi. Aha. Sikan ye. Sikan. Kotokro. Sikan na friend kotokro. Anu, omudi badwa ya nanka. Ya nya nanka ne bi.
We are no longer to work with ECG because we've been cheated. We've been cheated, but for so long. Cobras are suffering. The bills is piling. The bill is so much piling. I don't know. People are.
The public relations officer of the group, Alhaji Kojo, believes a direct supply of power from Volta River Authority (VRA) is the way to ensure peace in the Krobo land.
We don't need prepaid meter here now because we have not finished with the impasse we have with them with the overbilling and then the accumulated bills. So we don't need prepaid. We are still standing where we are. We are not going to pay, accept any prepaid, and then there are monies that when they open their computers, they see and they become annoyed and say they are coming to aggress on us to take the bills. We will not pay. We don't need ECG here again. You know something? 2 dams have been built on Krobo soil, and we have not benefited a peso from them. What they told us is, listen, you know, Kwame Nkrumah built this dam, and what they told us is they gave them order of entry, and that there was no, okay, my hand is showing, and that there was no agreement, which I did not believe. That if there's no agreement, we say, then let us go into a new agreement with VRA.
Following the unfortunate earlier demonstration which resulted in the death of the young man just close to the Lower Manya Krobo Municipal Assembly office, the Minister of Energy at that time constituted a committee to look into the matter to bring finality and peace, but months after the committee submitted its report, there have not been any new development. Joshua Ivor, the secretary of the United Krobo Foundation, in an interview with City News, indicated that the group would intensify its protests in the coming weeks if their concerns were not addressed by the appropriate agencies.
We are tired with GCG, we cannot work with them again. And then secondly, we are ordering VRA that we need power supply from them straight. We don't want any institution to give us electricity in this community. Therefore, we've suffered a lot from ECG, and therefore we are saying that we need direct power supply from VRA, and that's all. Definitely this must work. If not, then anything that comes out, we shouldn't be blamed. We don't want anybody to blame us. And this is very, 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 very simple. We want VRA
and police in this community.
For now, we know definitely the people involved will definitely talk. And after that, if you don't hear anything from them, then we will go on massive demonstration. That one will be bigger than this one. We will go according to the law. We will not go behind the law. Definitely we will go according to the law. And we expect that everybody should come to board so that we all work together and get our free power supply from VRA.
All right, so there you have it. Very aggrieved, incensed residents of Somanya, the Odumase and Bong areas, and they just don't want to have it. They don't want to hear any of it. Well, we've been joined in the studio by Samuel Atamesa, who is the host of Footprints on City TV. Good morning, Samuel.
Morning.
How are you doing?
Not bad.
Fantastic. How's the weather treating you?
Well, it looks like it's going to rain.
It does.
I'm sure it's raining somewhere. So
Yeah.
Very cool.
What are your thoughts generally on this situation that we're seeing here? Basically, the residents feel that for so many years, their lands were used as, as it were, to set up the Akosombo Dam. Part of their lands are underwater because of that and all of that, and so they are owed, and their ancestors did not, or their generations before them did not pay, power and all the rest. And if you're going to have to pay right now, they are saying that, listen, remove all the middlemen. We don't want to deal with anybody. Let's deal with VRA directly. And this is what some of them have been saying. I'm not sure what you make of it.
I'm also not sure whether what you are saying captures the full story. Did I hear them say that they are not happy with the way the prepaid is calculated?
No. So,
okay.
What do you
Well, from what they are saying, they feel as though the charges between VRA generating the power, Gridco distributing it, and ECG retailing it, so to speak, those middlemen charges, they want scrapped.
But there's nothing like middleman.
Well,
do you
yes, but
understand?
that's how they understand it.
That's how they understand it.
That doesn't change the fact on the ground. There's nothing like a middleman. It's a supply chain. It's not. This is not an agency relationship. It's a supply chain. But having said that, they may have legitimate cause of concern in terms of affordability. in terms of affordability. I'm just not sure whether the approach to resolve it is this way. I mean, hitting the streets, you know, there are leaders of the land, and you know, I don't know where these foundations spring up from, you know, based on ethnicity.
Yeah.
And the moment you do that, it turns into an awkward situation, because I want to believe that, yes, they own the land, and I mean, Krobos own the Krobo lands. Yes. But there are accounts there are airways there are, you know, people, a mix of ethnic groups. So I think that the concern should spread across those who live there, not necessarily Krobos, because there are Krobos who live in Kumasi, who live in other places. Yes. Having said that, I just think that they should find a better way of asking for a conversation than hitting on the streets, because it's not going to change anything.
Not from the angle with which they're coming from.
Yeah, it's not going to change anything. And the request to take out the different components of the supply chain for you to deal with VRA directly, it doesn't work that way.
Right. Should we check in with Joshua Evo?
Yes.
So he's the secretary of the United Krobo Foundation, and he's joining us on the line to maybe explain their case a bit further. Good morning, Joshua.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right. So you are the secretary for the United Krobo Foundation. When was this foundation formed?
It was formed in 2017.
2017. Okay. So you've been around for a few years now. What is the, should I say, the main mission of your foundation?
Our mission was very simple. We ought to fight for Krobo land, and anything that goes on within the Krobo community that will not even sound well, that we think is a cheat. We are ever ready to talk for Krobo land. Therefore, we want to solve problems that come from Krobo land, whether it is political, whether it's social, anything that would disturb anything that would disturb the people of Krobo land. Definitely, we are going to rise against that. And you can see we had some issues with the ECG for long, and then when we were talking of the university being taken from Krobo land to Bonsu and those things, after our demonstration, definitely we got our university back. Okay. And we are ever ready to fight for the people of this community, if the chiefs will not will to do so.
All right, so can you give us a sense of what exactly your challenges are with ECG and why you refuse to work with ECG?
My issues were very simple. 2014 to 2017, we saw some irregularities in their billing system.
Okay.
So we drummed them, we wrote to them, and told them that these are the issues of your customers. So it is better you address it earlier before it becomes very huge. Unfortunately, they didn't mind us. So 2017, the vandalizing of the electricity office, and then the play station, and then the burning of the cars, that issue rose. And unfortunately, the president of the land heard this issue. So he ordered, we petitioned him, so he ordered ECG to do investigations and then see there can be a lasting solution to this problem.
Okay.
They came to conduct their investigation, and then they got to know that what the people of this land were saying was very true. So recommendations were given. We were even asking for the recommendations and those things. And ECG was not even ready to produce those documents. They told us it was a white paper from the government, so therefore it's only the institutions and then the high table people supposed to get us. But those who sat with them to iron out these problems, we were not even given some of these documents. But that was not a problem. There was a roadmap that they want to clean the bills. Those we were saying was not correct bills, accumulated bills, wrong accumulated bills, and those blah, 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 blah. So they told us they will clean the bills within 3 months so that people of Togoland will go and pay their bills. Unfortunately, it took them more than 2 years, and the bills were not cleaned. If you assure me to clean the bills within 3 months, and we have about 57,000 customers within Kobo Block over here, meters over 57,000 meters. And they told us they will use just 3 months to clean the bills. And it took them more than 2 years. So we wrote back to them and told them that we were saying you should clean the bills so that people will pay their bills. And for 2 good years, you were not able to clean the bills. So how do I go to pay my bills if I know the bills were not correct? How do I go to pay my bills? Then they came back to us and told us they've done whatever we were saying. But we went to change when we got to know that no, the bills were still wrong. So we conducted a survey and got to know that what ECG were saying was not correct, was not true. Therefore, we had a press conference and told ECG that we would not work with them again. Immediately we did that press conference, we saw ECG with their VAs and those things in Poland. Then they came that these are the roadmap they want to help propose nor pay our bills. We told them in Tema that if you are not able to solve the problems between 2014 and 2017, in 2018, you left the bills to accumulate till 2021. And you are now coming to tell us that from 2014 to 2017 that we wrote to the president, we petitioned the president, we passed a resolution. But that one, you are ring-fencing. Then their ring-fencing means that they are setting that portion of bills aside and then probe into it. But when the bills are correct, it means we are going to pay that one too. Then we said no. If that will be the case, cancel from 2014 to 2018. And then 2019 January to date, give us a period of 5 and 10 years so that willingly Kobos will go and pay that debt.
Okay.
They said no, they can't do it. Then if that will be the case, if you want Kobos to pay electricity bills, then ring-fence from 2014 to 2021. We had a meeting in July, just this year. Ring-fence to this July. Then this August, people will start paying their bills in full. Then we probe into this issue of 2014 to 2018. They said no, that one they can't do it. The only means that will make them take their money that they were expecting to get from the people of Kupa, whether they are correct bills or not, is to bring prepaid meters. Okay. So they assured us that in December this year and January, definitely we will see prepaid meters on the ground. And I can show you, they were mounting meters in the Kobo area. We have over 2,000 meters in the Kobo area, which are prepaid meters now. They never assured us that the meters they were mounting were prepaid. And we were asking questions, what type of meters are these? They never told us anything. But we found out that the meters were prepaid meters. And if problems with this community is not solved and well solved, prepaid meters will bring another chaos. Okay. Because UCG is saying I'm owing 20,000 Ghana cedis. Yeah. Therefore, if I go in to buy a credit of 100 Ghana cedis, UCG is going to take 80 Ghana cedis of my credit, and then I use 20 cedis. Meaning that if I buy for 1 month, definitely within 4 or 5 days, my light will be off. Therefore, I need to go and buy. And they thought that was the means of them taking their money.
Okay.
And we are saying, if these problems are not resolved and solved well, the people will not even try to go to their offices and pay their bills. As of now, do you know that ECG is mounting prepaid meters?
Okay, Joshua.
To shoot. No, during
Joshua.
the period of PDS,
Joshua.
you know, Kubos were shot, others were killed just because they went with the police into the community to take their money by force.
All right, Joshua. Now let's get to the protest that was staged. All right.
Yeah.
You've given us a whole rundown of the issues, so we appreciate that. But at the end of the day, very simple. There's money owed. You are trying to find a solution as to whether get the arrears cleared or discounted to get that sorted out, and then to decide on whether or not you're going to accept prepaid meters. Fine. But there is money owed. Now, you've said that in your previous deliberations or discussions with ECG, they haven't been fruitful. Do you expect that taking to the streets in the manner that was done is going to solve the issue? What's going to come out of demonstrating to actually resolve this issue of the debts that are owed, negotiating for a discounted or a payment plan, and moving forward with prepaid meters? Is this the right way to approach it?
This is the right way. Because we sat with ECG severally in order to iron out these problems very easy. But we got to know that all that we were trying to do was appeal. And the last thing to do is to demonstrate. You know, going into court will take more than 10 years to solve this problem. And we want the problem solved now. Our only issue is this amount of accumulated bills we cannot pay. The people of this community cannot pay, and virtually it is true. We can't pay. We can't pay.
Right, Joshua.
We can't pay. But the issue of VRA is far different from that of the ECG.
Explain.
How different? How different?
Yeah, that of VRA, we need a power supply from VRA. And since it was done in other places in Akwamu, definitely that can also be done in Kobo land. Because our lands were taken, no compensations were paid. Even funds that comes from the World Bank to the community are being squandered. We don't even know where those funds are. Therefore, if you go to Ajina today, if you go to Adumasa today, if you go to Kudikope, Sapo, Sedom, they are all in Akwamufi. Do you know that VRA provides them with a direct supply? They give them direct supply of power. And that one they pay less.
So Joshua,
why Kobo?
Joshua, it seems that there are two separate issues you are talking about here.
That is it.
Okay.
That is it.
And so you're asking that you be giving a direct relationship with VRA.
That is correct. And we are saying if VRA is going to take money, if they are going to charge us, we will pay. But to sell power to Brico selling to ECG before we landowners buy from ECG.
All right, Joshua.
They are all profit-making institutions. Am I lying?
No, it's a value chain. It's a supply chain. It's a supply chain. So basically, VRA is producing. The ECG is doing distribution. So it's not nobody's making profit of anybody else.
So do you know the reason why we were asking that documents that were signed between VRA, between Kwame Nkrumah and the people of Roboland should be brought out? We were even asking for the visibility studies before this dam was built on Kobo land. We couldn't find it.
All right, thank you.
So why? Kobo, why?
All right, Joshua, thank you very much for enlightening us on the different issues that are troubling your people, the Foundation United. Joshua Evo, he is the secretary of the United Kobo Foundation. So, Somanya, as you were saying earlier, the issues, it's not what we are seeing on the surface. There's a lot more. There's a lot more beneath.
So that's why I said they have a legitimate concern. You know, legitimate concern with regards to the ECG issue.
Yeah.
Because once they were able to establish at some point that their billings were done incorrectly, that is a case that needs to be thoroughly investigated. Now, according to him, it was established and both parties decided to do something about it. It's going to be a wild goose chase. You know, I don't see how ECG can retrieve the money from them. It's not going to happen.
No, it's not.
And I'm happy that he says that I don't have the full facts that that's billing within that period was ring-fenced, which literally means that it's been demarcated and set aside. It's like let's put it aside and move on. Not that you are not owing any longer, but so we don't deny you access to electricity. I think that it should be declared as bad debt.
I agree with you.
Written off.
It should be declared as bad debt.
And as you can move on.
You know, because you see, it's first of all, did you have problems with the billing, which you owned up to? If indeed you did, then that's what has brought us here, and also raises the question that it's possible that going forward you can still make mistakes. So if it affected a particular geographical area, then that calls for concern. So that's why I'm saying that they have legitimate concerns, but we have a member of parliament there. You have the district assembly, the municipal district assembly. You have the chiefs, and I am hoping that they can make use of their leadership structures to push home their concerns rather than. Because how long are you going to be on the streets? I mean, it's a legitimate approach, but that by itself is not what will cause anything to change. But the chiefs, the member of parliament, the district assembly, and some of the key political figures who hail from there, who have occupied government positions. And see, this is the kind of thing that calls for bipartisan collaboration. So you have somebody who was, say, a minister under Akufo, somebody who was a minister under Rawlings. They all sit together, call everybody, let's distill the issues so that we can do a proper presentation. Because they are our people. When you go into the family house, you don't ask who is MPP or who is NDC. You understand? The immediate past deputy minister for Eastern region hails from Krobo Dumasi. I forget his name. He was my student. I forget his name. But so I'm saying that they should all come together and push the agenda to ask that the right things be done. If indeed what he's saying is the truth. If you bill wrongly once, everybody will say, I've been billed wrongly. I mean, once you admit that you have done it. And I think that if going forward, they should just consider that this one won't get the money back. Because it may even cost you more in retrieving the money. I'm telling you.
That's true.
But be able to, because it's a service. It's a service that you are providing. And there's what we call service integrity. That once you lose out or a blind spot in the service delivery chain, you have questioned the whole package of the service.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue our discussion. Send us a message, 0550-585832. That's our WhatsApp line. Or you can hashtag Breakfast Daily on social media. Let us know your thoughts about this situation going on in Somanya, Udumasi, and Bong.